but it's so loud, dude. It sounds like a Greyhound for real. This thing is sick. Okay, now we are going to jump over to the truck. I got it backed in over here. We're gonna jump over there. We're gonna throw on this 5-inch exhaust. It's a 4-inch downpipe, and then it turns into a 5-inch exhaust. It's all straight pipe, and I do have that big old 6-inch chrome tour bus style exhaust as well too. So we're gonna jump over there. We're gonna get it put on. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. It's 4:30 right now. Let's see if we can get it done. Hopefully by 5:30, latest 6. First, I want to show you what we're dealing with here. So one hanger there, and then it goes all the way down. We've got one seam here, another seam there, right? It goes down. This one is actually welded together, so we won't be doing anything with that. And then we've got our band there, and then the downpipe. The downpipe on this one is a little bit longer than the other one. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna take it apart up at the front, and then we'll try to get these clamps off. So one hanger and 1, 2, and 4 clamps, and the downpipe at the turbo. Alrighty, got it. So, old 4-inch pipe, new 5-inch pipe, can't wait. Got the downpipe out. This downpipe was a lot different. The 3-inch downpipe here, I took off the turbo neck as well too, just to make it easier. So, gonna zip that off, and then probably gonna post this on Marketplace for like $100 just to get it out of my hair. It is all solid. This is the patch that I did. There was a big old hole right there, and you can see it's not the best. It was kind of tucked up underneath, so I had to kind of push it around, but there's a couple of different layers of JB Weld there, and oh, looks like there's a hole right there. But it wasn't blowing out, so it was solid, but definitely ready to get the new one in. This is the old axle dump, 4-inch. This is a 4-inch pipe out to an 8-inch axle dump, and I'm trading up to a 5-inch MBRP aluminized exhaust. We got the 4-inch downpipe versus a 3-inch downpipe, so you can really see the difference there. Still have a small neck on there, but I wish they would have just left the neck, and you can see the difference here. All right, update. So I've got 90% of the exhaust done. You can see I've got it coming right here. I've got everything loose, so I can go ahead and clock it and do it at the end. I'm just messing with the last piece here, but I also wanted to show you guys that I painted. Check this out. All nice and fresh in here. So all that's fresh. The frame up until this shackle right here. So, and then back in through here. And then also all back through here. So all this is painted. Not all up in there, but just out right here. But all this is painted outside here. Went ahead and hit all this stuff. Everything's painted in there. It's nice and fresh. And then same thing with this side. So we went from that shackle all the way back to the back. And then all this is painted in here. It looks really, really good. It looks fresh. It's actually dry to the touch right now. And this is with that satin black. So from here, we did from the body mount here, boom, all the way the top of the shock tower. I did up behind the shock tower too, on top of the frame. And then we went back through here to this body mount here and got behind the body mount, underneath the body mount. It looks really, really good. Frame is nice and clean now. This is all pretty much dry to the touch. So honestly, from this body mount back to that rear shackle, this middle section, the frame needs painted on both of those sides, but this looks really good. Super clean in here. Look at that. Almost like a show truck. But you can see I started to do the leaf spring a little bit, but I want to make sure that I got all this nice and clean before I paint it. All this, I cleaned it the other day, and then I wiped it with acetone and everything. And I just kind of scuffed up the rust a little bit, but it looks really good. Way better than it did before, especially standing back. You know, it's way better. That looks so good now. With that big 5-inch exhaust in there too. Looks really good, guys. Just wanted to show you guys that I picked up this rolling bench. So it's a regular bench, and then they put it on like some DIY, like a DIY dolly or something, but works out great. So you guys know that I'm a taller guy. I'm 6'2", so I've got this thing up on blocks, and it comes up to like right about just above my belly button. And this one is maybe, I don't know, 4 inches shorter than that. So it works out great. It's pretty solid wood. You can see it's got the pegboard. It's got a little LED light up in there. And it also has this plug right here. I got my fan hooked up to it. I was able to put it over here to the side. Eventually we'll get this out of here and this out of here, but it works out really well. It's great. The pegboard's great. I wiped everything down. Nice little drawer there. We've got our cabinet here, and that just goes all the way through. And down there I just got my salt horses, but overall you can't beat it. So I had the gentleman deliver it, and delivered to my door. I paid $80 cash for this thing. He was asking 70. Originally he was asking 100, then he marked it down to 70 by the time I saw it. And so I asked him if he would be able to deliver it, because I noticed that he was very local to me. And he said, yeah, for $10, I got you. So he dropped it off this morning, and I'm telling you, this thing is great. It's definitely gonna get used. I'm already thinking about getting a bench vise for one side and a bench grinder for the other, because I do intend on keeping this one as my main workspace just because it's bigger. This is a little bit narrow, but we'll see how it goes. If anything, I might end up using this for the bench grinder and the vise, but overall very, very pleased and satisfied with the purchase. No buyer's remorse on this. Alrighty, so I've got the exhaust all tightened up over there, and now I am just trying to cut this right here so I have enough to put on the tip. Just enough to mount it right there and still have enough support right here. I'm still playing with it, but regardless, I do need it to come within this section right here. So I'm just gonna cut it here. I've got the tape there to kind of give me a line. We'll see how it comes out. If I got to get rid of the hanger, I will. When I mocked it up, it came right about here to give me the right fit that I wanted, but I figured I could always take more off if I need to. So let's go ahead and cut this off and see if this is the right fit. Cut. See that tape on there? Well, let's go put it on the truck. This is what I have now. It's like tilted in this way a little bit. If I move it a little bit like that right there, that's really what I'm looking for. That nice even, just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't stick out a whole lot. It looks more on the camera right there, but you know what I mean? Alrighty, got it all done. It gets all buttoned up, all tight. Everything is good. Got really, really fine clearance. I don't know if you guys can see that, but really fine clearance. And then I put this hose clamp right there just to keep it from moving around. But also look at that frame and everything, huh? It looks really good, doesn't it? Super stoked. So now I've got some degreaser here, and what I'm gonna do, since I spray painted it and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it all down because I've got fingerprints and grease prints all over it and stuff. And then we will go ahead and do the startup. You can see my clear coat kind of got like, I don't even know what you call that. It's like a bunch of little tiny cracks all over the place. So that's okay. I know that it wasn't gonna be perfect. That was mainly just to keep it from rusting and to keep it from getting too nasty. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up now, and then we will do the first startup. Got the pipe all nice and wiped and clean. Everything looks nice and fresh. You can see what I mean by being nice and clean now. So it goes all the way down there. Everything's nice and shiny still from having a clear coat. I just put some nice thick self-tappers into the tip since it's a slip-on. There was no clamp or anything that came with the tip, so that's just what I had to do. So yeah, you can see all the way back through here. Nice and clean, using the hangers. Everything's nice and tight, everything's uniform. You can even see the clamp, the edges. I made sure everything was nice and square. You can see on that one, nice and square. You can see on that one, nice and square. You can see up underneath here. Everything's perfect, everything's very uniform, very matching. And you can see the gloss clear coat on there. Everything is very shiny, very clean. So it's exactly what I wanted. And now we get to do the best part, which is do the first startup. It is way louder. No leaks. Bro, this truck is so loud. I mean, the 4-inch was like, it was kind of decent. It wasn't as loud as it is now. I also have it backed into the corner of my shop, so, but it's so loud, dude. It sounds like a Greyhound for real. This thing is sick. Just messing with the dash skin, and I got it put on there. You can see totally different color. It's not even this color, it's in between these two, but there's nothing I can do about it. But it fits very well. It actually fits better than the last one that I got. You can see all the way down through there, and I got it tucked behind the airbag there. So I've got two different carpet dash skins. I've got a black one and I got a tan one. And because I went with the black seats, the black seat covers, I'm gonna do the black dash pad. All of this is gonna be covered anyways, but I just wanted to show you guys real quick because I've got the RTV over there. Came with some RTV, and I was gonna do the Gorilla Glue, but then I realized I don't want to super glue it on there because the next person might have to get it off or something. So at least the RTV is just like silicone. So in theory, it would peel off if you needed to. So I just wanted to show you guys real quick before I put it on. I already did it on the last truck, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You literally just take it out, throw some glue on it, and then put it right back into place. And then I'm gonna put some weights on top of it. That way it dries overnight and we'll be good to go. But I'll take a clip of me putting the RTV on. So this is the RTV that they gave me. These are the bolt holes. So last time I did it, I made sure to put a lot around here. I went around the whole edge on the last one, and I made sure to put it right over here where it's gonna sit on the airbag. All down in this area is very crucial. And then obviously on the edge over there. Up here above the steering wheel doesn't matter too much. Obviously you want to put it there, but I found last time that this was more than enough glue. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this put on there. That's all of the RTV. I made sure I got all around the perimeter. We wanted to make sure we got down on the edges there and everything. So you can see it's all pretty good. This is just the little excess that I had left over, kind of rolling the tube and squeezing it out. But you can see in all the points that it's making contact, I've got it. In this area, I'm missing a lot of my dash, so I can't really put anything there. As long as it's on the edges, that's all good. On the edges, it is. So I will go ahead and get it in the truck. I'll put some weights on it, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. And just like that, we've got the dash skin in. You see what I mean about missing part of the dash in here. But I've got the weights on there. Everything lined up really nice. Everything's on there really well. It looks great. I've got the weights on there. I don't have any weight right here because I've got a big old open spot right here. So, but everything is where it needs to be able to, you know, be grabbing and everything. I've got everything down through here looks really good. So you can see it's all back there and then all on the sides here. So the only thing to do with the sides here in this area, whenever you close the door, you just got to ball up some rags, put them in there, so when it closes, it applies pressure to the edges, and let it sit overnight, and we will be good to go. So I will check back in the morning and see how it is. Okay, so I got it on there. I was able to use my level here and get it somewhat decent, but it came with some different screws, and this, I just used self-tappers, but I had to put some shims back there. I had to put 2 washers back there and back here just to get this gap right here to sit flush, because it was like in. So I even bent this out. You guys saw me kind of bending it out a little bit. I had my vice grips with the rag, and I did bend it out a good amount. You can see though, I've got that line pretty good. It's pretty good down through there. Looks really good, I think. So it looks good all the way through there. This side looks pretty decent too, you can see. So at least the gap is pretty even. That's like really all you can really ask for with these things. You know, it's just a stamped piece of metal. So I did have to cut around here. So I just took some painting tape and just used that as my edges. And you can see that I cut around just enough to where I could get around it right there and right there. I mean, they're not the best. It's not the best, but you can tell that the roll pan fits on there nice and clean now. So it's all squared up. Everything's on there. I do have a little bit of flop like this. So I'm gonna see about securing it on the sides, because there's a little lip in there. So I'm gonna see if I can run some self-tappers through here, because you can see it's kind of hanging right here. So if I can tighten that up like that with some self-tappers right through here, maybe I can tighten that up, but all in all, it looks good. I got it all worked out. Everything's nice and tight. Look at that. Super tight on there. Very good. And what I did was I just ran a self-tapper right here on the side in the corner. Can't even tell. So it's perfect. It's nice and solid. And I just got done wiring up the light. The only downside is this light is not LED. So that's kind of a bummer, but I got it wired. I had to just kind of splice them together and use the old plug from the old bumper, but it looks great to me. Now I'm going to use some aluminum brightener on this tailgate to see if we can get it to brighten up a little bit. And then I'll put that on there and see how it goes. I also have a tail light that goes right here on the bottom. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this little strip right here. I'm going to just paint that black real quick. That way it's covered and the self-tappers are hidden and stuff like that. Alrighty, we got this aluminum cleaner and restorer, so we'll see how it goes on this thing. I don't really see much of a difference. It's been about 5 minutes. I mean, it might be a little bit brighter, but I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it, flip it, and do the other side, and call it a day. That definitely came out basically brand new. I mean, there's like these stains on here. I cannot get these off to save my life. But you can see this side, I mean, this is like basically brand new, you know? I mean, it's wet, so it has a little bit of like a shine to it, but just for being like raw aluminum, and red and everything came off of there too. You can see some of the red is still much better than it was. It was all red and nasty. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this air dry, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get it back on the truck. You can see here I painted this in here. Nothing crazy. I just wiped it with acetone and I just sprayed it real quick. That way everything's kind of hidden. And I also sprayed my cuts down there where I cut the roll pan to fit around this hitch right here. So that's all nice and buttoned up. Perfect. Ready to get this dry so I can throw it on there. I'm also thinking about what I'm gonna do with this bed back here. This bed liner is definitely seen better days, and it wasn't even like done the right way. You can see that they kind of definitely half-assed it for sure. It's kind of patchy in some areas, but there's like an even layer. You can see there, it's like not even fully done. So I do think they sprayed it, but they didn't have enough. They must have bought only enough for a short bed truck, and so they ran out on the sides. But Looking good, man. So I got it on there. I don't have the straps mounted yet. Got to figure out what I'm gonna do with those. I got to try to figure out how to get the original stud out. But yeah, this is how she's gonna be. I mean, look at that. Super sick, right? I think the tip looks great. You guys let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the exhaust and the roll pan and the tailgate. I know I don't have a gooseneck or anything like that, but I just love the look of these tailgates. I've got the original one there. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I just love these tailgates. So it's got a little lock on it. I don't have a key for it, but I should probably get one. That way it doesn't get taken. But man, this thing is sick. I'm loving how it's turning out. It's coming out really good. Having everything nice and clean in there with the nice clean exhaust with the clear coat. Love it. I think that the rear end is done for now. There's not much else I want to do to it. I do have, like I said, an LED strip light that's going to be going in between the tailgate and the roll pan. So I just need to figure out exactly where I'm going to put it. I think I'm going to just run it right down here on the bottom. Right below the studs there. I think it'll fit right there. I also have lights that go inside the bed underneath the rails, so it lights up the bed. I saw those on there. I was like, damn, I've never had those before. I've never seen them or anything, so I got them just to put them on there. We'll see. I have to take off the frame rail caps here. These guys got to get sanded down and painted. You already know we're gonna go with the satin black on those as well. You guys are probably sick of hearing me say that, but that's just what it is. And I also have black vinyl to put in between the two windows here to make this all black. I've been kind of tinkering with other stuff, so definitely look forward to doing that because that's going to definitely kind of break up the truck a little bit by having that blacked out right. I am putting the final touches on the interior now. Finally, I was able to source my issues with the speakers, so I'm about to do that now. Instead of wiring it to the harness to the head unit, I just needed to wire from the amp straight to the speaker wires in the truck and bypass the head unit itself. So it was a little tricky. I'm still kind of new to the audio game, but after messing with that, I think I have a better grasp on kind of how everything goes. Here's the 210s. These, I hooked them up. They work really well. So what I did was I just ran it back through there underneath the carpet, through the corner over here. And there they are. So what I did was I cleaned them up, and then you can see I put some washers and stuff because the plastic rings were kind of cracked. Got those wires just going right through there, and then they kind of disappear, and then they pop out over here. But the plastic rings were all broken and stuff, so I just put some washers on the screws and got those nice and secure on there. Then you can see this box, how it's made. It's made to fit right in there as well too. Got the little line in here right there. Boom. Now I've got that working. I was able to hear them. I hooked up the amp and everything. It all works great. The boost controller works well. These things, I didn't get them to like warm up, so I don't know how hard they hit, but they definitely work, so that's good. I've got those in a good permanent spot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get the rear bench seat. I'm going to put that in. That way it's in there and secure. And then I'm going to go ahead and wire up the head unit exactly how I need it to be, which should only take a second, and get that installed. You guys can see how the dash came out. I've got the sun visor in there protecting it now, but you can see how well it came out. Didn't exactly match. Kind of bummed out about that, but that's okay. The seat all mounted in there. Everything is good. You can see this is the seat cover on there. Everything's bolted in there. It looks good. I did scrub the seat, but the seat just did not come out very clean. So, and I also have the two dogs. I love to go down to the dog beach or to the dog park and stuff. So whenever we take them, at least it'll be protected. And with these seats being 26 years old, whatever, I want to make sure that at least they're covered for the time being while I have the truck. So this looks great. It works. It serves its purpose, and I'm thrilled with that. Now all I need to do is throw these plastics in there. Forgot those, and then I'm going to wire up the speakers, and we should be good to go. Nice and clean and brand new like factory. We'll just let it dry, and then we'll hit it with some of that trim restore, and it'll be brand new. So you guys can see this kick panel is all nasty and black, and then you'll see how clean it is. There we go, nice and clean, beautiful. All right, you guys can see how clean that's starting to come. I mean, I gotta rinse it and everything, but you can see how dirty and nasty it was versus how clean it's going to become. Beautiful. It's like night and day, literally. Completely nasty. So that was the driver's side. So this is the driver's side that I just cleaned. This is the passenger side. The driver's side came out virtually new. No complaints. It doesn't have that much wear on it or anything. It's not chewed up. The only thing I noticed, I got a little bit of like a scuff right here that I just couldn't really get off. I think I'm going to try the magic eraser and see if that'll get it off. But this is came out beautiful compared to this one. How nasty this is. There we go. Another one down. Beautiful. A couple more pieces left and we'll be done. So this thing is kind of beat up. It's kind of cracked and stuff. So we'll try to find another piece on Marketplace. This is how that came out so far. Too bad, though. Alrighty, got everything buttoned up in here, nice and tight, beautiful. Got this nice and tight over here as well. Everything is moisturized basically and wiped down. I did the gaskets and everything, so everything is nice and ready. You can see here it's nice and wet looking, nice and restored, as they say. So all this up in there. I mean, this kick panel was absolutely destroyed. These things were completely black and nasty, and they look really good. So what I'm going to do is I have a black paint pen, and I'm going to put black paint on the heads of these screws right here just so they look fresh. But now I'm going to jump over to the other side and get it buttoned up. It looks really good so far though. Love how it's coming out. Definitely love the satisfying feeling of restoring these old trucks back to their former glory. I mean, this truck was abandoned, and now look at it. You know, it's night and day difference from the way that I found it. I was able to wire up the speakers directly to the harness. You can see here. So I got my right and my left there, and now I've got sound coming out of all four speakers. Well, this one's still dead, but I've got sound coming out of all of those, and the subs are hitting as well too. The amp is not tuned right, or it just doesn't have enough power to power both of these subs the way that I want. So maybe we have to upgrade the amp, but I'm going to tune it a little bit and see if I can squeeze a little bit out of it. It did sound decent for what I had going on. And then I also have to do the backup camera. I've got to go ahead and wire that real quick before I put everything away. Other than that, I'm completely done with it. I'm actually really ready to completely put it back together and then get the seats back in here, which is going to be great because then I can take it to go get alignment, get the tires done. But yeah, we're wrapping this thing up slowly but surely.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, sis guy here, visionary.
So we got it going good. It works great. I got it in there. It's mounted. It's pretty solid for what it is, you know.
Soldiers in the military, got most stones in a cemetery, most strings in y'all.
Right. I wanted to show you guys a clip of the bezel being in here. So this thing is not the cleanest. You can see it has seen some better days. It's all in one piece as far as like it's not cracked or anything. It is kind of rough, but I don't really care. At this point, you know, I've had the truck apart for so long. I've been doing so much to it that I just want to get it back together. You know, I don't need to make everything absolutely perfect. I mean, at the end of the day, this truck is a two-wheel drive truck. Anyways, this looks great for what it is. I've got the vents inside the garage. I'm still cleaning those and working on them and whatnot, but the screen looks great. It moves, tilts around, it does its thing. It's all in there nice and solid. And the best part is, it turns on. Look at that. Love it. All right, I got the seats in and I went ahead and painted all the bolts. I was able to mount my bench grinder and use the bench grinder with the wire wheel to clean up all of the bolts, so that worked out great. So I wanted to show you, I got the interior completely done now. I've got the floor mats in here. I vacuumed everything out again. You can kind of see my lines there, but I got everything vacuumed out for the final time, and then I put this black dash mat in there. This is actually the one from my old truck. I've got a tan one that came with this truck, but I just do not like the tan. I went ahead and did this, so it actually really helped out a lot. So now from the front of the truck, everything is black because I got the black headrests, and I've got the black dash mat. So this actually worked out really well. Really helped out with blackening up the truck a lot. I got the other ones back here. These are just some universal ones, and I do have the sub box there, but it is something, and it matches. It does, you know, help protect it a little bit too. So definitely stoked about it. The interior is essentially completely done. I mean, the only thing I have left to do is put the edge tuner. That's going to go over there. Probably tint the windshield. But other than that, oh, and then we have to do something about the headliner, because this headliner is absolute trash.